All right. Hello. Welcome to our live Carolina Justice Report. This is the first one of these that we've done, right? Welcome. I'm Rainey Romero here with attorneys Justin Lovely and Amy Lawrence. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, Rainey. How you doing?
I'm good. Are you ready for the holidays? You ready for
No.
Christmas this
We got
weekend?
4 days?
Yeah, it's coming up
I
quick.
haven't even started yet, so
You're joking.
no, I'm serious. But Amy's been doing a lot of work for me.
Don't let him. Okay, this is the deal. Like a true man, right?
Uh-huh.
His only job is to get
What?
something for me, right?
Well, that
the mother
helps.
of his children,
Yes, that helps. That's
the
true.
love of his life.
Yeah.
Well, he just told us that he didn't get you anything yet, Amy.
he's
How do you feel about
lying
that?
through his teeth.
I gotta get started.
I don't know
man.
what he did. Let me just tell
I've
you
got
this.
5 days,
So,
4 days. I mean,
we just got back from Tennessee, and whatever he went to get me took a long time. But he was gone for 4 hours to pick up whatever he got. And
This better be good.
But let me just tell you something. Justin Lovely's the best gift giver, at least to me. He always
Puts thought into it.
I tell him all the time he's the best thing that ever happened to me because he always puts so much thought and love into whatever he gives me, and I love every bit of it. I've never returned anything.
I feel the love, the holiday love around here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's
man.
the best.
What's the best gift you've gotten?
Besides our 2 children.
You gotta say that.
There you
See,
go.
Amy's quick on like the good words.
Well, I really do mean that. I tell people all the time, I adore him. He's my favorite person in the whole wide world. And I know I'm his favorite. We really like each other, which is silly to say, but I think that's really important, especially after being together for 15 years.
You know, people don't always still like each other in marriages.
Yeah.
You know, it is a
I think that's so
achievement.
important. Matter of fact, we joke around with our kids because I tell them all the time that I love Justin just a little bit more than them. And they're devastated every time. And I always tell them that, like, when this is, when they get older and they grow up, they're going to get married one day and they're going to start families of their own. And it's just going to be Daddy and I. And we still got to like each other and love each other.
That's right.
So it's always us against them.
Completely agree.
We're gonna have to change this to like a Dr. Phil
Oh,
relationship.
sorry.
advice.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
it's
plot
it's
twist.
the Christmas,
No,
holiday
I
one.
2023.
Yeah. No,
Flip it.
I hope that everybody finds somebody that loves them like you love me and I love you. I wish that for everybody.
Cool deal.
Well, Amy, are you ready for Christmas on Saturday?
It's coming.
Sunday?
I think we've got most of our presents knocked out. I've got like 1 or 2 little things that I've got to do. But yeah.
I mean, the time to order is kind of over at this
I mean,
point, right?
Amazon was taking 5 to 7 days to get things in when it was
It's taken
only
a while.
2 or 3.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I did mine early this year for once, which
So
is very
smart.
unlike me. I'm
Yeah.
always like a last minute person. And then what about kind of any big plans? You guys stay in town for Christmas or what do you guys do?
We've been running the roads for the last
we are long
2
haul
weeks.
truck drivers during the holidays. Matter of fact, I told
Throughout the
Justin,
year,
we
I
need to
feel
figure
like.
out a way to like monetize this. To like, can we like put something in the back of his truck and like ship it, like like a ship it thing? But we just got back from Tennessee visiting Justin's family, and then we'll on the day after Christmas we leave to go to North Carolina for a couple days with my family.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Love
we
that. Do you guys open presents on Christmas Eve or day?
Day
Day.
morning. Yeah.
We've always done Christmas Eve. That's like our thing. But I thought it was just my family and we were weird, but
You do all your
it's a lot of people do that. Huh?
the whole thing.
All of it.
You do the whole Christmas on Christmas
Mhm,
Eve.
mhm.
Okay. You wait
When
till
I-
midnight.
And then Santa Claus.
No,
comes
we don't
the
wait
next
till
day.
midnight. Exactly. So we kind of like do all of our gifts Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day would be like stockings, like stocking stuffers, because Santa came through the night and did like the stocking stuff. But that
That's
was
pretty
always
cool,
normal to me. Yeah. And I saw something today, which I know Amy, you will agree with this, but it was kind of like, or at least understand this. It was something about Santa and not telling your children that their expensive gifts are from Santa, because then children feel like if they didn't get that from Santa, that they were bad. Like, why
Yeah.
wasn't I as good? Why didn't Santa love me as much? And I thought that was like, oh,
That's
like
pretty
duh,
good.
but I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I think it's so important because you see this differentiation of kids go to school and they're like, well, Santa brought me an Xbox and a PS and a iPad, and then for another kid, Santa brought underwear and socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's really hard.
Yeah. As a child, you don't
Yeah.
understand that. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what did I do wrong?
We don't like. I know some families do these huge Christmases for their kids. We don't do that. Our kids get like maybe 5 things for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually like one big thing.
Mhm.
And then we do like PJs. They always
Yep.
get some PJs. And then books. We're real big on books and like
Mhm.
educational toys.
Yeah.
But
And then trips for memories and stuff, right?
we always love a good experience, whether it's tickets to a football game or a basketball game, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
That's how I am. I'm a little bit more on like trips and the memories and stuff like that. And honestly, don't tell my children, but I have not gotten them anything for Christmas the last 2 years. And it's because they get so much stuff from my parents, his parents, the siblings, like our sisters and brothers. I'm just like, they do not need anything else. I'm not
Yeah.
getting anything else.
I agree with you.
So-
100%.
We don't give our kids stuff from us.
Yeah.
They have 5 gifts from Santa, and that's the extent of it because they get so much stuff.
Right. They don't need
from
all
their
that.
little
What are they going to do with all
friends,
that?
Their cousins,
So-
aunts and uncles and stuff like
Which
that.
is a blessing, of
grandparents.
course, to
Oh,
have that
totally.
from family. But okay, well, I felt really bad because then people are like, "What did you get your kid?" And I'm like, nothing, but I still love them. Well, let's move on. And we are live, folks. So if you guys have any comments or if you want to let us know what you're doing for the holidays, we'd love to hear from you. It's a cool thing being live because it can be interactive. So that's really neat. This is our Carolina Justice Report that we drop every Tuesday at 2:00. This one's a little bit different because it's our season finale and it's right before Christmas and New Year's. So we're doing a little bit of a different vibe today and we're going live. But yeah, we talked about some happy stuff with the holidays, but then also we want to remind you of some things to be cautious about during the holidays as well, right? It's kind of, it's a really happy time, but for people who may have lost someone or dealing with, mental illness, it can also be the lowest time of the year, right?
Right. I mean, we've seen with the passing of Twitch, which is, Ellen DeGeneres' DJ and executive producer, somebody who on the outside looked like had everything, right? And he took his life, and that's heartbreaking. And it's usually that's the person that you never see coming, right? It's usually how it goes. And so I encourage everybody to remember that there are seasons of life. And the great thing about seasons is that they change. And what feels like is the worst thing today, tomorrow won't seem so bad.
Yeah.
And so if you need help in your, call the suicide hotline, call whoever, talk with somebody. And if you're feeling low, there's options out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Right.
And of course, I think everybody knows about this whole, Twitch devastation. But if you don't, as Amy was saying, Twitch was a really well-known dancer, but he was probably best known for being the guest DJ on Ellen.
Yeah.
And he would also host at times when she wasn't there. But
I mean, he had like millions of followers on Twitter and Instagram, or not
beautiful
Twitter, Instagram,
family,
and
children.
TikTok.
I think it just
3
surprised everyone because he's one of like the people that you really got the vibe that Hollywood didn't affect him and that he was very just a happy, positive person. And so I know a lot of people are comparing that to the Robin Williams suicide, where people just were like, what? This is somebody that's so loving and genuine and positive all the time. You don't ever think that that's who it would be. So it kind of, there's a lot of narratives going around right now, which I think is really important about, well, what does that look like? What does depression and suicidal, people look like?
When we talk about this stuff, I'm always, you just don't know what, like, everybody's in a fight club in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just don't know what kind of battles people have, whether it's from their childhood. Because I know that they said that Twitch had said that he'd went through some traumatic stuff as a kid.
No, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And his and the note that he left behind, and you just don't know what people go home to. You don't know what's running through their minds. And that's why I always encourage people to be really kind to people. It's really easy to be, an internet crusader and to have comments and be the critic.
Yep.
Because you're, it's behind a screen and it's on, online, and it doesn't feel like, it really has a place. But like, be really good to people and kind to people. It doesn't cost anything, and you just don't know what people are going through.
Mm-mm.
And it just isn't worth it. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever make anybody feel less than in life, ever. And that's what we teach our kids. You just don't. We just don't know what. Just don't know what people are going through.
No.
What kind of homes they go home to and everything in between.
Well, that's what folks are saying, is really to just assume everybody's going through something, which is the case. Everybody is going through something, Yeah. So yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, so the holidays bring that out sometimes with the happiness. And so some hazards, of course, with us being a personal injury law firm, we also want to make sure that you're staying as safe as possible. So we don't have to see you, but we're here for you if you do. But one of those things I think is something everybody always hears about, but it kind of is like in one ear, not the other, is just kind of alcohol safety. And obviously we don't want anybody to drink and drive, of course, but also even in the home, just being safe, because a lot of injuries can happen at home through alcohol too, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, we have a lot of social host issues. People are throwing parties. People can get overserved very quickly when they're home for these holiday parties. So you got to be very mindful. You obviously don't want people to get hurt, but you can also have personal liability if you're serving underage kids and they start driving, getting a wreck.
And
So
criminal liability.
criminal liability too. And of course, we don't want anybody to have these DUI wrecks happen a lot during the holidays. We don't want those to happen to you. So just be mindful of who you're serving and who's drinking what.
I was talking to a trooper friend of mine last night, actually, and he said that we had three wreck deaths last week alone in Horry County, and it was the most we'd had in a really long time, especially in a week span. And it really, as a matter of fact, it breaks my heart just thinking about it. It really took a toll on those guys that were working the MATE team with the highway patrol. It really took a toll on their heart, having to look at those families and stuff. And they were just really preventable.
That's terrible.
So, I always tell people all the time, we live in an age where you can pull out your phone and hit a button and a car will just pull up and pick you up. And you don't have to put the address of where you're at. So it's not like you even have to call a cab anymore. You just hit a button and there's, Uber and Lyft. They pull right up, they snag you and take you home. So, don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's one thing to get a DUI. It's another thing to kill somebody. And the majority of people who get these type of wrecks, and I have these conversations, we have them every day, is that, killing yourself is one thing, but the idea that I could hurt somebody else, because majority of people are good people, they just made a really bad choice. And that you would hurt a family or take somebody's mom or kid away, it's just, that's more than someone can bear. And you haven't just ruined that person's family's life, but you've ruined your own. And it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Well said. And then I think there's also the common misconception that if you're drinking at home,
that it's safer.
It's safe. And it is safe if you're not driving. It's safer if you're not driving. But again, if you are not drinking responsibly and you over drink, then there's lots of accidents. You can fall and hit your head. You can go unconscious. There's all these things that can still happen at home. So we just want everybody to be as safe as possible.
It's always something stupid too, right? It's like, hey, we're having a holiday party or we're doing this, and maybe they run out of beer. Hey, run to the store and get
that's true.
Candles for a cake, or get icing for the cake, or get some napkins or toilet paper, whatever it is. That's when the accident happens. So keep in mind, don't just stay home. I mean, you gotta, not even if you're running out. If you buzz driving is drunk driving.
Yeah,
that's when it can happen.
Yeah.
People all the time are like, well, we see DUIs all the time where people blow 0.0506, right? And that's below the legal limit. That's what people are thinking in their head. But really, that's not what the standard is in South Carolina. The standard is, are you materially and appreciably impaired to drive? And sometimes that is a 0.0405. It's like this. I don't really drink alcohol. I might have 10 margaritas in a year, right? That's like a big treat. We just don't drink because it scares me. I had a grandfather that was an alcoholic. My mother put the fear of God in us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just don't drink ever more than like one or two ever. But I would never drive because it's just too much.
Don't risk it.
Don't risk it.
Yeah, don't risk it. Another thing that always pops up every year, which statistically, this always surprises me, but falling off of chairs and ladders and all the things while you're trying to do decorations and lights. Why do you look at Justin? Did Justin do this?
No, but she's lucky she did not do it because she stood on the top.
Yells
ring
at
of
me
the
all the time.
ladder.
Well, we have a very
God.
large Christmas tree. It's like 12 feet. And I can't ever get to the top. And he's not home. Let's say I'm like putting it all together. And I'm like, ooh, I'll just pop up there and do it. I'm small. And then he walks in and he's falling apart because we've seen every accident under the sun. He's like, what the heck are you doing? You're gonna end up killing yourself. Then I'm gonna come in here and the kids are gonna find you dead. Like, he goes down that whole like rabbit hole of like all the what ifs.
Well, we see a lot of crazy
that would scar them forever.
Yeah, we see a lot of crazy accidents. I mean, it does happen. So safety first.
It happens way more than I realized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the falling off of ladders while you're doing the outside decorations, the falling off chairs and ladders as you're doing the tree and hanging stuff on the top. So again, I mean, that's not one I would really necessarily think of, but it's important that everybody's safe with that as well.
Well, even if it's not catastrophic, you're usually catching yourself, right?
And then bones.
Well, you'll knock your shoulders out. We get a lot of shoulder cases where people are catching themselves, and it's just jarring, knocking the AC joint out,
or breaking
you gotta
the
get it scoped.
arm
Breaking
or
your
wrist or whatever.
We've had clients that were on a ladder, which in a professional setting, and the ladder failed. Right, it collapsed, and so it slid down, and he shattered both of his femurs, right, and ankles. It was insane.
Yeah.
Well, if the ladder itself breaks, definitely call me because that's a product liability case. Preserve the ladder, though.
Preserve the ladder.
Preserve yourself and the ladder, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then also just fires with all these trees, electrical fires. And I feel like this happens more with the real trees, right? Not
You got to
the.
keep the tree watered. If not, it dries up and it's just a tinderbox, man.
See, I haven't had a
Yeah.
real tree in like a long, long time. As an adult, I've never
I
gotten a
can't
real
even keep
tree.
a houseplant alive. Do you think? I'm gonna-
So I don't know how that works with keeping it watered, but that's good to know.
Yeah, you got to keep it watered because it's sucking up all the water. You got to water it every day. If not, it'll just dry out and
Oh,
then
I
it's
didn't
just
know
ready
that.
to. It's just like a
Also, let
kindling ready to go.
me also remind everybody to check your smoke detectors.
That's a
we
good
were
one.
actually we did this at his parents' house while we were there. We were going through checking out, like doing all the little things that, like, because his parents are older, all that little maintenance stuff. Like he went and put all the batteries in there, changed the
Mhm.
batteries to their smoke detectors. But we had a friend in law school, and her brother was in a fire in a fraternity house at Ole Miss, and he was one of the people who passed away. And every year on his
Wow.
birthday and on the anniversary of his death, she always reminds everybody, please check your smoke detectors.
Yeah.
Because that stuff matters.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's very true.
Mhm.
And I think too, as the times have changed and the LED light bulbs are now out versus what it used to be, and those
Yeah.
used to catch fire way more than the LED ones. But also everybody's supposed to unplug their Christmas tree at night. That's something I never do.
Ever, right?
But we're supposed to. So I don't know. I need to be better about that. I don't know.
yeah, I need to be better about a lot of
A lot of things, right? As we're talking, we're like, oh gosh,
Also,
I should not do
I
that.
learned from a friend of mine who's a fire marshal here in Myrtle Beach that we should all be sleeping with our doors closed, and our children should be sleeping with their doors closed.
Why?
It will save your life in a fire because it's smoke inhalation that kills us in fires 9 times out of 10. And carbon dioxide poisoning. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure everybody's sleeping with their door closed. I literally go upstairs now. And after we put the kids to bed, before I go to bed, and as I'm locking all the doors, Justin's locking all the doors and stuff and turn on the alarm, I go upstairs and I close my kids' bedroom doors because that will save your life in a fire quicker.
That's
than you think.
interesting. I wonder how that works though. I mean, what about going in to get them? I mean,
It still protects everybody from the carbon monoxide poisoning, I'm guessing, and the smoke inhalation.
that's crazy.
Well, you should also
Man,
buy
so many
the
good
smoke
tips.
detector should have the carbon monoxide
Yeah.
detector too. They sell those combo units now,
Mhm,
so you need that as well.
mhm.
Also, people who are using kerosene heaters. We had a horrible fire in Horry County last year where a man died in his little trailer, and which was heartbreaking and so preventable. And we see these fires every winter, and we're getting these really, really cold nights here at the beach. And so be very, very careful. You've got to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning and also fires.
Yeah. Well, and talking about temperatures dropping, I mean, gosh, it like dropped like that
Yeah.
within the past like week or so. I've been freezing my butt off. I'm not made for the cold, but Justin's laughing at me. But with the temperatures dropping, that leaves a lot of room for ice. And
yeah.
here in the South, a lot of people, from the North come down here and they yell at us because they say we don't know how to drive when it gets cold.
We do
But
not. They're right. We do not know how to drive.
but
on
we
ice.
don't. Even our tires are not made for snow and ice and stuff like that. So we just have to be careful too, because when we get to black ice and stuff like that you can't see, just know once the temperatures drop past like 30 something, that ice is out there. So
And it's
that's
supposed to get down like that over
Yeah.
Christmas this
well,
weekend.
it was already in the 20s this week. It's been crazy.
It was so cold that when we were coming back last night, I have a Suburban, and it was saying beware of like ice.
had that too.
because
Yep.
Of the temperature dropping so
Mhm,
low.
mhm.
It's giving me a little.
And our
warning.
DOT, they don't ice the roads here.
Right,
you know.
right. We're
We
We
just
don't
not
have
used
the
to
tires
it.
here.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to drive here. So just stay home, stay off the roads, work from home. Everybody should be remote. So.
Well, and Christmas Eve is supposed to be very, very cold,
Mhm.
specifically. So
So if you got to go shopping, do it today.
yeah.
Get it done.
Well, and it's a hazard, obviously, for driving, being careful while you're driving, but also if you're just out and about, walking your dogs, doing whatever, slip and falls, again, is something that is very common just without ice, let alone having that too. And if you're going down your stairs, if you've got a porch or something, these are just things that as the season changes, we want to be careful.
If you own a business, go get you some ice. I mean, go get some rock salt, right? Go get the
Mhm.
salt at Lowe's, because you have a duty to, if there is ice, to get rid of it and maintain it. So if somebody comes in because you're open, and if they slip and fall, you're going to be liable for that. So
Yeah.
go get some salt and stick it out there and make sure it's safe for all
Now,
the people at your business.
How does that work slip and fall wise? I mean, I know we handle those cases here. If anybody gets injured and they slip and fall, what happens if it's like an ice thing, is that still something that someone can be held liable for?
Well, those are tough cases
Yeah.
to prove, right? Because it's an act of God. They didn't go
Right.
out there and do something. But if, let's say, it ices over
Mhm.
and we have like a prolonged ice storm or prolonged low temperatures, and it goes on for like a week or two, and they do assume the duty of reopening,
Mhm.
and they do not lay down
Gotcha.
Salt and
measures salt to melt it,
To protect that, yeah.
and somebody falls, then they've assumed the duty, and then we're gonna have a case there. But if it's just, if it ices overnight, you come the next morning, like you fall,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
they're not going to be held liable for that.
Gotcha. Hmm.
Case by
Interesting.
case basis.
Yeah.
You
Gosh, I would hate to
know.
slip and fall and like get hurt and then not have.
No,
Any
we've
kind of
we've
claim.
had cases like that where
Mhm.
we've investigated bad injuries, and then there's
Mhm.
nothing we can do for them. Then there's
Oh.
other ones we've investigated. We said, hey, this is worth taking a shot, and we've got some compensation for
Yeah.
for the client.
Wow.
But they're not. As a rule of thumb, generally, rain,
Yeah.
ice, not good cases.
Huh. Well, and then, lastly, or close to lastly, it's be careful with the toys, like checking the toys. Are they choking hazards? I know, what was it, like a couple years ago? It was those little hover things that were exploding or whatever.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm
It
talking
was the
about?
lithium batteries in the.
Lithium batteries.
Yeah.
Also, do not, if you have a child under 5, do not have those little Orby beads.
What are those?
They're like these little gel beads.
that expand.
They can kill your child. I had no idea. I was watching a TikTok of a mom, and her 3-year-old ingested these they're like little Orby beads. They're like these little jelly beads things. They have them in like all these kid toys, and they are so incredibly dangerous. And no one's really warning anybody of that.
I don't even know if I know what those are. That's crazy.
Our kids wanted this some kind of Nerf gun that shot these little things, and we had like a whole stand down in the middle of Walmart or Target or something. I was like, absolutely not, because my nieces and nephews are running around our house and our neighbors and stuff with little kids, and we don't want to take a chance with them because they look like candy. It looks like they look like the stuff in the bottom of bubble tea.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those that I don't know if you ever saw these at like flea market and stuff, but they have them where they're like they start out as little hard beads and then you add water and they go
They
into
grow.
gel beads and they can like water your plants and stuff. Are they kind of like that?
Yeah, but like it's like they're in kid toys everywhere. They're in those squishy things. There's all
I think I
kinds
know
of
what you're talking
stuff.
about now.
But
Yeah.
they're like really, really terribly dangerous. I mean, they're up there
I
with
didn't know that.
with like little watch batteries dangerous.
Well, and let alone pets and stuff too. I assume they'd be dangerous for
absolutely. Yeah.
that too.
Had
So
no
many.
idea.
No, so many things.
All right, I feel
Batteries,
I feel like Debbie Downer.
Or not batteries, magnets. What
Yeah.
you're talking about? Don't play with those magnets.
Well,
And
batteries
little
too.
watch
Yeah.
batteries.
Well, the thing with batteries now is these rechargeable lithium batteries that is going in all these cheap manufactured Chinese toys, and they explode when you recharge them.
Mm.
So beware of that too when you're recharging. We're scaring everybody from Christmas.
Well, I'm
Debbie?
just wondering if there's like a site for like recalled toys or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To double check that your toys are kind of
We'll
safe.
we'll put it up. We'll put it in the show
We'll
notes
put-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll post a post on it.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I know for the choking hazards, that's something I'm always looking for because I have the little ones. And so yeah, I can't even get something for the 4-year-old that the 1-year-old might choke on. So it's like
Yeah,
we're always
wow.
worrying about that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And they say, even tree lights that may pop off or ornaments that are small, that those again are choking hazards too. So it's kind of just making sure you're child proof in your house.
I'm gonna have to bubble wrap our children.
I
That's what we're
know,
gonna
I
have to do.
know.
Yeah.
There's so many things to worry about. We don't want to freak you guys out. We just want to, remind
No,
folks.
it's
We want everybody to have a good
awareness.
season.
Awareness
Yeah.
is half the battle, and just when you see those little things that you're extra aware and like
Yeah.
you've got a little one, it's like now if you ever see those if you're over at a friend's house and they've got those little bead thingies laying
Mhm.
around, you start picking them up and get them up.
I
you
mean,
know?
honestly, it's stuff you just don't really even think about because, and especially during the season, again, everybody's running around crazy trying to get all the last minute stuff. You may have family in town you're hosting, and
I mean,
that's always stressful.
we're pretty much
But
like treading water.
right.
The month of
So you're not even
December.
thinking about that stuff.
No, of course not.
So it's always helpful. I need to check. You got me thinking about my smoke detectors now. I'm like, do mine still work? Is the battery still good? Now I got to check that. But
we're gonna text her husband before we get off this thing.
Yeah.
I know. Check the
Get
smoke
your butt up
alarms.
there and start looking right now.
Yeah,
9
but don't
volts.
use a ladder.
Yeah, but don't use a ladder till I get home.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. Well, let's talk about some cool things. I mean, we're ending the year for 2022. We just posted a like recap video of all of our community service for 2022, and that was so fun to watch back because we've been doing them every month. But when it's all kind of put into one video, you're like,
Yeah, that's a cool
"Man,
video. I was
like,
pumped to do that.
we
Glad to
were a
do that
lot of
too.
places."
Now we got to figure out more organizations to help for 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
We're
have an
gonna keep adding.
organization that needs some help this year, please reach out to us. We'd love to help and get involved. Matter of fact, Justin and I were talking about yesterday starting a foundation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that
Foundation for
way,
what?
The Lovely Family Foundation is what it'll be, and see a need, fill a need within our community. And we'll talk about that more once we get
Wow.
everything, the ball rolling and all that stuff.
You heard it here first.
But like
Breaking news.
we constantly see things in our community where, I can't save everybody
Mhm.
and do everything, but when things come up and they're in front of us and we see a need in our community, we can fill it, whether it's, a grandma needs help with her grandkids for Christmas,
Mhm.
or somebody who can't afford their light bill.
Mhm.
We can do those things and really
I
help
really
in a
love that
meaningful way.
idea.
And
Yeah.
one thing we found, is a lot of these organizations, they just either don't have the budget or they don't know how to get help. They don't know how to get the word out. Right.
Yep.
And so obviously we're good at marketing. And so
Mhm.
we, along with helping the team, help them with whatever
Mhm.
they're doing on that day or that week, we can help them spread their word and help other people jump back in.
And
So
a lot of when we do these videos that you guys see on our Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff and YouTube, we also have our video guy cut a video just for the organization.
Mhm.
So they have their own informational video. We do that free of charge for them. That way they have something to put on their website to promote, because, a lot
And
of
it
these
takes us
people,
out.
and
It's a generic
not about
video
the
for
Lovely
them.
law firm. It's just about them and what they do.
Mhm.
We get them talking on camera about their organization and why it's so important. We do that because, the majority of these organizations that we're helping in our own community are grassroots, right? And so like when I think about Associated Charities and how we just love them.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
some of our favorite people.
We
We
do,
love everybody.
yep.
We love everybody, but like I think they're very near and dear to our hearts. That is just 4 sweet, wonderful local people working really hard to fill needs in our community for those that are homeless and just the working poor. And so they just don't have the means, or even they can't even like wrap their mind around the concept of somebody coming in and doing this like really professional video for them. So to be able to do that for them, it's such a gift. So they can put it on their website, they can put it on their own social media, and then they can get the word out there. That way they can get some help from other people, not just us.
So the compound effect is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
I think we.
I love this
accomplished that,
idea.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
perfect for the two of you specifically, because I feel like community service is such a huge part of like how you live your life, what you instill in the firm, kind of, helping people that have given so much to you guys. Why do you think that is such a big deal? I know, Justin, when I started, you were like, this is a big deal. Like, we have to do
It's
our
happening.
community service. Everybody's,
It's
has to
ingrained
help.
in our culture here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to
And
give
everybody
back.
here loves to do it. It's not like anybody's forced to do it. They all
Well,
love it.
We have parents who that was kind of, they were and then they still are, they lead with that. You know what I mean? We've
Mhm.
always done that in our families, like growing up, but also we went to a law school that was very community service or
We had to do
Oriented,
community
yeah.
service to graduate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, we both did double the amount of hours that you would have to do. And it was within a rural little coal mining town in Virginia. And whether it was swinging a hammer and doing, building a Habitat for Humanity house, or
Mhm.
helping the church whose roof got pulled off, in a bad storm, or whatever that was. And so we just loved it. Matter of fact, we got awards in law school for our community service.
Mhm.
That's cool.
But it just,
What does it do
It's
for
the way-
you
it's
though?
the
When
way to
you
do
help
it. It make-
people, what is that? Amy, you don't talk, you take a break. Justin,
Oh, here we go again.
what does that do?
That's the best thing, man. Well,
Amy's
I always
crying
say,
again.
what's the well, this ain't a joke. This is seriously. What's the top 3 things that I love? It's settlements for our clients. I like Google reviews, and we love giving back into our community service project. And I believe it all, you get back what you give in, right? Just like Amy's saying. So we're glad to help everybody. We want to figure out we want to help the underserved charities too, right? So I've got you digging in, like, what are these charities?
Yeah.
Not the big ones that everybody knows about, but everybody who else is trying to get their feet through the door and grow whatever organization they're doing. That's
Yeah.
the ones we want to help as well.
Exactly.
And so it's great. It helps. It just compounds everything that we're already doing with the firm. It's great for the firm, and it's great for Amy and I and all of our staff, and everybody loves doing it. So
Well, and you bring up
you can't, it's a win-win for everybody.
That's how we found them. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like a research project. They really hadn't launched a website or anything yet, and we just found them randomly.
And they've been around for 50
And come to find
years.
out, they're the longest running, nonprofit in our area, which was, so crazy to find out. So, yeah, we want to help
like-
those people.
It's like our local Meals on Wheels is such an awesome group of people, and they're all volunteers, and they're doing, I think about my grandmother as she got older. Sometimes we were stopping and checking on her every day. You know what I mean? As she got older, but not everybody has a family like that.
Mhm.
And a lot of people outlive, or their kids are working and they can't come every day.
Mhm.
And so it's just we love our Meals on Wheels here.
Yep.
They're just so wonderful, and they're always doing such wonderful things. So when we get to get really involved, the Myrtle Beach community has been so good to us, top to bottom, from the time we started. I've been practicing law since 2008, and you've been practicing since 2009, and everyone has been so kind and good to us. And how could we not want to put that kind of energy back out into our community?
Yeah.
When they've been so good to us.
Well, and aside from that, I mean, you guys just, I feel like that's who you are in general, like regardless if, I don't know. I have never seen somebody just as they go about their daily life constantly thinking of doing nice things for other people, or constantly seeing a need and filling it. So it's just, I love the idea of you guys doing a foundation, because that would just be right up your alley. I feel like
We're
you
gonna
guys
figure
could
it
just,
out.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
so
gonna add it to
cool.
my list of never-ending tasks to do.
I
Yeah.
know.
But it's going up there. You just got bumped up to
It's
it.
amazing.
To the top.
Well, and we have Thomas, who commented a little while ago that we should talk, and he can help with any kind of foundation questions you guys have. And Thomas is
Thank you, Thomas.
we sponsored, he runs a veteran group, and so we sponsored one of his golf tournaments. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, he's doing a
Tom?
lot of great
Thomas
things.
is
Doing a lot of great
awesome.
things
Yeah.
for vets. For
Yeah.
sure, in the
He
community.
is. He's actually little plug for you, Tom. He's actually just starting in Marion and Myrtle Beach. Let me know if I get this wrong. VA places to help veterans.
We
Things
need to put him and George together.
we do. We need to
Yes.
get Tom. We actually need to get you and just interview you. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing some really great work for veterans to get them back on their feet and offer services that our local Veterans Affairs doesn't have right now, including just this really cool technology for hearing loss and everything. So
Yeah.
we are waiting for more details on that. We're going to get involved in it. But as we talk about 2023, that's one of the projects kind of coming up. So
And
we'll
so
let
see,
you guys know
we've
about
met
that.
people right through our
Yeah.
podcast, through our community service, and then we have clients who have these organizations. They're doing these things too, right? And so part of what we're doing is we're connecting everybody as well.
Right.
And then it's just like a massive web of community service. We love it. So
Yeah, very cool. And so, still talking about 2023, what can we see for the Carolina Justice Report?
well, we've talked about that too.
Okay, so well, let me just tell you this. So
First of all, let me start.
okay,
We're
Okay.
glad that we've grown it.
Can of worms.
We've grown this thing big time over the last year, right? With what we've been doing. And I think I've taught, Randy's taught, Amy's taught, Sarah, Charday, everybody's been on here. We've taught everybody about the law. We've dabbled in some community service and some community events and some hot topics, some newsjacking. I think we're going to keep doing that. But we've also got this new idea that we might spin off. I don't know if it's going to be the Carolina Justice Report. It might be a different podcast altogether.
I'm really, really excited about this.
We'll have to stay tuned. I don't
Oh,
want
come
to reveal it right
on.
now. Well, I got to get.
What's all this build up?
I
You
gotta
don't get
get-
a
well-
hint?
As a matter of fact, I was talking to a friend.
It'll
of
be
mine
awesome. Let's put it that way.
who
I don't
is
even know about
a
this.
Retired police officer about what we want to do. Matter of fact, when I pulled in this morning, and he was so pumped, and he already has ideas going. He's like, "Oh, Amy,
Man.
I'm so excited." He's like, "I've got three things, 3 cases, 3."
She can't say much. She's just trying so
oh,
hard.
I want to tell everybody. I'm so excited. But I'm really.
We're going to
Yeah,
drop
that's
some more teasers.
exciting,
We're going to drop
though.
some more
Yeah.
teasers. We got to plan it out.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to
You'll
give
like
any
it, Randy.
misinformation.
So, well, Justin and I are probably the most goal-oriented people you'll ever meet. Would you say that?
I would say
It's
that.
kind of obnoxious to everybody.
So
around us
obnoxious.
to a certain point. But part of our deal is like we don't want to just we're constantly setting these goals for ourselves and our firm, and we ask our team to also set goals not just for their work stuff but their personal stuff, because if they're helping us knock out our goals, then we want to help them knock out theirs, right? And so we're constantly asking, and we're constantly reevaluating those goals. Like I'm looking at a whiteboard of Rainey's right now. It's like awesome. I'm seeing 6 things that are really her goals for 2023 coming up, which is exciting. And we're constantly pushing that kind of envelope of what we can do, how we can do it better, and stuff that we can really get excited about. Because we really love what we do, right? not many lawyers will ever tell you that. There was like, don't go to law school. I'm like, oh, go to lawyer school. Do it. It's the best thing ever. We really like what we do because we have this opportunity to really reach a lot of people, but we also get to help a lot of people. And that's like our favorite thing. So we're really excited about these new goals that we've set for ourselves. I also encourage all of you guys, if you don't put it to paper, Justin, what do you tell them the rules of goal setting?
Smart goals,
Smart
right?
goals.
So you have to.
This is
You
good
have
for
to
like
write-
New Year's resolutions.
It's-
and
No,
stuff.
it really
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
So
And
great.
I'm still doing this for 2023 because my goals are crazy, right? So, but you know
Justin
what?
has to narrow down his goals.
The goals I set last year, we thought at this time last year, we thought they were crazy, and we met them in 9 months.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, but if I didn't write them down, if I didn't get buy-in from the team, if
Yeah.
I didn't set a deadline, if I didn't make them a reach but achievable, right?
Mhm.
You have to do all those things, and then constantly evaluate. Where you're at. Are you on pace within a
Mhm.
month, within the 2 months, within a quarter, within a year? You step back, and then magically doing all these little things, little improvements, you reach your goal quicker
Mhm.
than you think, and you're
Mhm.
like, wow, we did it, right?
Mhm.
And then so we're going to do the same thing for this podcast, the Justice Report, maybe this new podcast we're doing, the foundation, everything, and of course the firm's got to keep going too. So we're getting all that organized. We're taking the team. We're going to kick us all off, taking the whole team down to Florida to celebrate.
Going to Key West.
We're going to keep growing. We're hiring all kinds of positions. So I got a lot to do, man.
he's
Oh,
stressing him out over
pressure,
here.
Nick, no
No
pressure.
pressure. Pressure makes the diamond, though. And that's what we
Right.
like. Only if you set your goals, though.
I will tell you this too. When you set goals, life shifts and things change.
Mm.
And
Yep.
so can your goals.
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
something that might have been a goal in January, in July might not be so important anymore because life happens. And that's okay. And that's what I'm constantly telling everybody here. If it doesn't mean that you have to go knock it out, even if it's something you don't want anymore. You can absolutely reevaluate and change it.
Oh, yeah. We pivot all the time. We pivot every quarter.
You got to pivot, baby.
Yeah.
You got to pivot.
But it's usually moving the line.
Yeah.
Hey, we met this. Let's go more.
Yeah. And when we say goals, it's not just a monetary goal, right? That's part of it, because in order to be able to do all these things and afford to like start a foundation and give out money and help people
Mhm,
and do all
mhm.
these and hire more people to do all the things that we want to do, it requires that we have revenue, right? We want to hit those goals. But it's also, I want to spend more quality time with my kids this year,
Right.
because, our kids are 10 and 12. And if we don't know anything, is that the days are long, but the years are short. And we just celebrated our 10-year-old's birthday this past week. And it's like, where did the years go? Right.
Yeah.
So we
Mhm.
want to spend more quality time with our babies. And so it's not just about money, but it's also about like our community service. It's about
Mhm,
spending quality
mhm.
time with our family,
Yep.
doing all that
The
stuff. making
priorities, what
memories.
matters. Yep. I like it. When we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and a lot of people do like a word for the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever done. I've never done that. It's kind of a
I love a word
cool.
for the
Yeah,
year.
it's kind of a cool
Mhm.
way to think of it. A lot of people will say like growth or something like that. So then they
Mm.
look for ways that they can kind of step outside of their comfort zone and try something new for the year and all that good stuff. But I don't know. Do you guys ever set those kinds of things for the new year?
Yeah. A favorite
Of
one.
course we do.
We don't do a word, but this is the concept. This is what I'm gonna deep dive into this when we do our kickoff meeting.
Okay.
'Cause I'm gonna need
all
you to
right.
really push the train on this, by
Okay.
the way. So I'm giving you
I'm
some
nervous.
tips right here. And I've talked about this a little bit last year, but we really didn't keep the theme. So it's a theme instead of a word.
Right. Okay.
So this is the theme of 212. Do you know what this is?
No,
Oh.
no clue.
212
Okay,
degrees.
so
Come on,
At
baby.
212 degrees, what happens? Do you
I
know?
don't know. No.
Okay. Water at 211 degrees is just
Is
water.
this boiling? If it boils or not?
But if you knock it one more degree, just one more degree to 212, the water boils,
right.
right? So what does that mean? You just got to do a little bit more.
It
Mhm.
took
think it's
1
too
degree
hard,
to
just go-
steam
Yeah.
an engine, right?
Right.
Mhm.
You
To
can
move a
you can move a
train.
train. Yeah. So it's a concept. So I'm going to push this in everybody's head. That's how everybody should live life anyway. Just do a little bit more. When you're
Mhm.
tired, just do a little bit more.
I like
And
it.
over time, you're boiling, man. You're on fire. Rocking and rolling. You're moving
Mhm.
a train.
Mhm.
Think about that.
Boom.
It's done.
Think about that.
Motivational
Right.
speakers over here.
Yeah.
They're
Just call
attorneys
me
and
Tony
motivational.
Robbins.
Yeah. There's a book, 212. Y'all should read. It's a quick read. I've got it. I'll give it to you and you read it.
No, but it's good. It's a mindset shift.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
We kind of did this in our own life this year a little bit. And even at home, like it was that I was tired, but like picking up all the toys out of the floor.
That's
you know
me.
what I mean?
Yes.
Or making my bed in the morning, right? Just those little little things that became habits this year, and I'm trying to work on for next year. Just that one little degree helped the day go easier the next morning or whatever that looks like.
They do say that with like decluttering and stuff like that with houses, like just do a little
bit,
pick up a little something every day, and that over time, because a lot of people are overwhelmed with all the tasks and all the things, and it's like, okay, we'll just bite off small bites.
Set a timer for 10 minutes and say, I'm going to hang up all these clothes that I can.
Yep.
Because Lord knows laundry. Whoa, I'm over it. I'm breaking up with it. Worst boyfriend ever. Laundry sucks. But laundry is the worst, right? I found this app that helps me when I get overwhelmed. When I had this little boy come in our house, when the neighbor, and he goes, Miss Lovely, I feel sorry for you. As he looked at all the piles of laundry, I go, me too, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
And when they're 8, feeling sorry for you, you know it's bad. But
funny.
like, it's just that little bit of that little thing that you can do to make your life a little bit easier. That helps set. You know, I'm just gonna hang up all that. I'm gonna fold all these clothes I can and get them put away in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're crazy surprised at what you can do in that 10 minutes.
And if you do it for 90 days, it becomes a habit. And then it's your habit. And then you reevaluate because you set your goals, right?
Right.
So you reevaluate at 90 days, at a quarter, at a half a year, at a year. And you make new goals and you keep stretching and stretching and stretching. You're a different person.
And the great thing about goals is like you better be measurable, right?
Yeah.
So you can see the difference. It's like just by doing those little things, I can see the difference and how it's made my life a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, and those are triggers for a lot of people, stress triggers and stuff like that. So everything
Especially
kind of is
for
like a
moms.
domino effect.
Yeah.
Helps everything. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, anything
gonna be
else for
good.
2023 we want to give, say, tease? What about these Murdaugh murders? So what can we expect for that happening in 23?
I mean, from what
I
I
don't even know what's
understand, we're
going
going
on.
to
What's
have
that?
a trial coming up in January.
Yep.
Russell Lafitte was convicted. He has not been sentenced yet.
They filed
So
his
we're still
appeal though, right?
waiting. Yeah. I don't know how far that's going to go. We'll see. He's got some issues, but that'll take time. That'll take a lot of time, years probably. I'm trying to think, and we're just waiting for the murder trial to go.
But that's huge. I mean,
The
23,
civil
that's
trial. Oh yeah,
where the trial's going to be finally.
And I really want to see the evidence they have against the Murdaughs. I think we all are dying to see what that is because we still don't have a real clear picture of it. And you know, I've been saying since the very beginning, I'm not saying that he's not responsible for their deaths. I'm not saying that he doesn't know what happened to them. I just can't wrap my mind around someone killing their son. I can wrap my mind around, sorry, babe, killing their spouse, but like it's so rare that like we remember like the 4 cases of people killing their kids off the top of our head that date back to the 80s. You know, we think, well, Susan Smith did it. Well, it was in the 80s and it was so horrific and bad and rare that we remember it, right? 30 years later.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just still can't wrap my mind around somebody killing their kid. I might be wrong, but I sure hope I'm not. I mean, wouldn't it be great that he didn't kill his family? I think that would be the ultimate goal that he didn't.
Yeah. Well, and I bring up the Murdaugh murders because if you've been following the Carolina Justice Report, that has been a huge part of interest from our viewers. We've had about 7, 8, something like that, episodes just dedicated to updates for the Murdaugh murders. So, you know, it will all wrap up in 23, which is crazy.
We're going to see the Mallory Beach trial, which will be against Parkers and Buster and Alec Murdaugh. We're going to see that happen. That will happen in 2023. So hopefully we'll have a lot of closure when it comes to the Murdaughs.
Yeah.
And then hopefully also, you know, we're going to see when we see the evidence that we can see, you know, who all does this engulf and entangle within our system, whether it be judges or lawyers or people in the community or whatever. You know, maybe I'm not excited to see it, but I'm excited to see it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Man, what are we going to do? How are you going to feel when it's all over, Amy?
It's probably going to keep going for another year.
You think so?
I think so.
I think
There's going to be appeals. Lafitte already filed his appeal. It's going
I
to keep going. He might get another retrial. I mean, you never know. It might result in a plea. He might turn. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways this could go. This is far, far, far from over. And then the feds just came in.
Yeah, they're doing their own, because people don't realize this. We think of double jeopardy, right? That he cannot be charged with murder again, but that is not the case. He can absolutely be charged again by the feds. You can get federal time and state time for the same crime. So we're waiting to see what happens. So let's say if he got a not guilty, acquitted on the murder, then the feds wanted to pick it up, then they absolutely could, and he could be tried again for it in a federal court.
I didn't know
Well, they brought a bunch of tach evasion, right?
Yeah.
The latest stuff. It was like last week.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of federal indictments for tax evasion. The feds don't bring stuff unless it's slam dunk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
True
that's why
story.
90% of federal cases end in a plea, because they don't even bring the case unless they got you hook, line, and
They
sinker.
have the full backing of the federal government and all the resources that comes with it, whether it's, subpoena power, money, whatever. And they just don't bring, I don't do any federal work. I did when I first started practicing, scared the shit out of me a little bit. It's a lot of gang work and stuff like that for the guy that I worked for. And I didn't want any part of it because that's 100% the case.
Wow.
They just don't bring charges that they know they can't win.
Yeah. Well, guys, lots of stuff coming up for 2023. I'm excited. I'm slightly nervous and scared, but I'm mostly excited. But well, thank you guys for a good 2022 year.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Rainey, for
Yeah.
always being so awesome.
Run of the show. Good
I've
job.
enjoyed kind of being they were already doing it before me, but I've enjoyed kind of being added to the team. And then we are taking, a season finale break a little bit in January and, recouping and, we're all taking a trip. These two guys take us on a trip. So we're excited about that. And then we will come back, premiere our season 3 towards the middle to end of January. So that'll be cool. Slightly different layout, different topics, updates on the Murdaugh trials and all that good stuff. So
I'm going to go.
fun stuff coming.
Whenever it goes down, I'm going to be there front and center.
We might want to do that. Let's send you Rainey.
Ugh. I mean, I'll go along. I'm not going by myself.
Oh, you go.
Okay.
No. But let me just say
We'll go in,
something.
we'll
When
report
that
I'll
goes
go and
down,
report live. I can
the
do that.
lawyer in me will, I'm going to be there. It has nothing to do with this, but I'm going to be there. I'm
Yep.
going to see it all.
I'll say, Amy, what do you think? Give me the insight.
Ooh,
Yeah, no, that would be cool. It's crazy to think that those are all open to the public. So
Yeah, courts open.
Yeah.
Court's absolutely open to the public.
I remember telling you that on an earlier episode that I was like, what? Anybody can go to these things? I always thought they were like family only or something,
Yeah.
Well,
So-
family court, like a divorce, something like that, they'll close the courtroom.
Things
Gotcha.
like children.
Yeah, I think it's involving kids, stuff like that, close the courtroom. But no, if
Gotcha.
somebody's on trial, it's open courtroom, man.
Matter of fact, to not open it is an appealable issue
Yeah.
under the law. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that'll be cool to see kind of what happens with that. I mean, I think most people, even if we don't have a final answer, if they do a plea or something, or not a plea, an appeal, I think most people are just wanting to get some of these evidence details out,
Yeah.
So
We want to see
I feel
what
like
they
that's
have or
a
what they
win.
don't have, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I just have I have a sneaking suspicion that they have a very, very shaky, weak case against Alec.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Well, I guess we'll find out.
We're gonna find out.
But he ain't getting out of jail.
Oh no.
I mean, there's so much other stuff just stacked on him with all the financial crimes and the feds and what else? All the other stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good
Well,
luck.
and some of the episodes that we've talked about in the past, like we did a whole one on Brittany Griner, and we have obviously all that is
She's out.
new details because she's out, she's back home, and so they did the trade.
They did the trade.
did
yeah,
the
that's what y'all talking
trade.
about. Y'all
We were
called it.
talking about the trade
But
on the
I will say
episode,
this,
but
I will. The guy only had like 2 years left on his sentence, so he was going to get released 2 years from now anyway.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that what was his nickname? The arms dealer guy. They made it was not
Dr.
it was
Death,
the
Angel
Prince
of
of-
Death, Prince
Prince
of
of whatever.
something, yeah.
But like that was something that like some tabloid had given him out of Britain or something. It
Mhm.
wasn't. I don't think this guy's exactly what we think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, we still have one. The trade was supposed to be for Brittany, and I forget the other guy's name, but
Yeah.
the journalist or whoever is over there as
He
well.
was a former. This is what we've learned about that guy. I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name
Paul
either.
Whelan, right?
Yes,
Whelan.
Whelan.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whelan was he holds a bunch of passports. He is a citizen of many countries.
Mm.
I actually think he might have been a spy. When they say he was a spy, I think that probably makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that we shouldn't fight for him, but it was not even up for discussion with him. He also had been discharged from the military dishonorably. He'd
Oh,
stolen
see,
a
I
bunch
didn't know
of-
all this stuff about
I didn't
him.
either. I know.
That's
Learned all
crazy.
kinds of stuff after the fact.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't stop fighting for him,
Right.
of course, but I think that does play into what's going on. He had been dishonorably discharged for stealing from the federal government, and he worked for many national governments that he also was a citizen of.
Interesting.
He had like 10 passports or something, like
That's
something
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Well, midterms are over
Which
too.
sounds like a spy to me.
If it looks
Midterms
like
are
a
over.
spies.
Yeah.
Midterms are over too, so I think there'll be some more action because they don't have to worry about voting for anybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there'll probably be some movement on all kinds of different things
Yeah.
the next year.
Mhm.
And then we
I'm a
start
big
the
fan
election
of-
cycle again.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, how I feel about
Everything will be
trading
made
people. I think
political.
we do everything we can if there's an American citizen somewhere to bring them home. Period. Whatever that looks like. We
Right.
don't stop. We keep working towards it. If we were all judged by our worst moment in life and our stupidest action, we would all fall short. You know,
Mhm,
it's very akin to sin, right? If all sin is equal in the eyes of God, then we would all fall short of His
Right.
glory, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
We hear that all the time. It's the same thing. If we're all judged by the one stupid thing that we did in a lifetime, all of us would fall short and no one would get grace. And I think that we should always advocate to bring any kind of American home that we can.
I love that. Well said.
Amen.
Well said.
Grace is important.
Mhm.
Close it down, Randy, before we
Mhm.
start talking
All
for
right, I'm
another
closing
hour.
it down.
Yeah,
We got our
yeah.
Christmas dinner tonight, so we're going to get ready and go do that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. You guys can always find us anywhere you consume your media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Of course, you can visit us online at justiceslovely.com. We always love to hear feedback from you guys, questions that you have, and then we will put that in a future episode, or we'll just reach out to you and respond as well. But thank you guys so much. We had a wonderful season 2. We're looking forward to season 3, and so we'll see you then.
Take it easy.
Happy holidays.
When life gets ugly, justice is